Hey guys, what's up? Alright, so I know this is a topic that people have been talking about for months and months with the trials and the trial footage and so on and so forth, and some people are probably getting tired of hearing about it at this point, and I probably won't talk a whole lot more about it after this video. But I wanted to actually do a formal video discussing like the outcome of the trial between Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. I know that I kind of uploaded a video yesterday, or the day before. I'm completely losing track of time at this point, but the days just kind of blurred together. I've been working a lot, but I made that video talking about a certain repugnant human being, aka Kathy Griffin, coming to the defense of Amber Heard, which is kind of to be expected from a person like herself. You know, she's got to maintain the, be in the spotlight and keep attention on herself somehow. But anyways, not about that. But yeah, I think it's obvious where I stand on this case and, what my position is. I'm glad that Depp won, as he should have. He was clearly the victim in this scenario. I've seen some people try to say that, both were in the wrong and both were bad. It's like, no. If you've actually heard the videotapes and you've heard about some of the fucked up shit that Amber Heard did to Johnny Depp, you know clearly who the victim here is in this scenario. You can even look at footage. There was actually a particular piece of footage. It was Depp and Heard at probably some award show or something. And you can see just how tense Depp is because Amber Heard is like standing next to him. And you can clearly see that Depp is very, very tense and very nervous. Whereas Heard is not and is kind of very, very confident and, dare I say it, arrogant a bit. But you can tell in the body language, and I know that some people might think that body language is bullshit, but and in some cases I think it probably is too, but I think in other scenarios it can really say a lot. But yeah, I'm happy with the outcome, and I've sort of always had this theory about this particular case. I'm not saying this applies to all cases like this, but in this particular case, I've always had a theory. And I've laid out this theory many times, but even before it came out about, before the truth came about, the fact that Amber Heard was the actual abuser in the situation, not Depp, I always thought it was weird because, you've got two people who are in the same profession. Here you've got Amber Heard, who was dating Johnny Depp, who I believe is like 23 years her senior. And Amber Heard, who is an actress of not really much note. I mean, you look at the movies that she's been in, there's not really a lot to speak about. She basically plays the same role over and over and over again. She was probably one of the biggest things she was in was Pineapple Express in 2008, where she was Seth Rogen's girlfriend in the movie. She was in Never Back Down, which is a movie about fighting, and I believe it was about martial arts and stuff like that. But she was in it, and she was, again, the same type of role. She was the main character's girlfriend. She was in Zombieland, where she was, like, the crush of Columbus in the movie. So, again, basically the same type of character. I believe there was another one that she was in, where she was, again, the same type of character. Oh, yeah, The Stepfather, which is basically like a B-grade horror movie. She was also in... what else? She's been in a few other movies of not really much note that didn't really do well and didn't really get off the ground. I would say if I'd name off like the two most different roles for her, it would be The Ward, which was like a John Carpenter film. It came out in 2008, 2009. She was the main character. I would say that was probably a bit of a different role for her than what she usually does. Probably one of the most complex roles that she's done, which isn't saying a whole lot. And then she was also Mira in the Aquaman movie, which, there have been rumors going around that she's going to be cut out of Aquaman 2. I don't know if those are true or not. I still think that they're not going to cut her out completely because, a lot of the producers and directors in Hollywood are hypocrites when it comes to the situation. Depp was accused of being a bastard, of being an abusive bastard. And he was immediately fired from not every role, but a bunch of the big roles that he had at the time. Immediately cut. This comes out about Amber Heard, and they're completely dragging their feet. I mean, people had to, you know, shout at them so much for them to just cut her time in the movie down to 10 minutes. So I feel like at this point, and I know I'm rambling, getting off completely off topic, but I feel like if they actually want to save that movie, they should just like scrap her part and just cast someone else at this point, because if they do keep her in the movie, it's probably not going to do well, and it's going to be a financial disaster, because I imagine people will not go see it. I imagine the only people who will go see the movie at that point are like diehard DC fans, or people who, for some reason, misandrous, we'll just call it what it is, misandrous, who support Amber Heard and are going to go see the movie, out of spite, even if they aren't a fan of DC. But yeah, I mean, aside from her role in The Ward and in Aquaman, most of her other roles are kind of blur together. There's not really much to them. She was also in the shitty re-adaptation of Stephen King's The Stand, where she was Nadine Cross, which I didn't see and I refuse to see. One, because she's in it, and two, I've just heard that it's a shitty adaptation in general, so I'm probably not ever going to watch it. I might check it out if I'm really bored, but the 1994 miniseries I thought was good enough. I thought it was actually pretty good, despite the outdated effects and whatnot. And, Amber Heard being cast as that character is a disservice to the actress who played the character in the 1994 miniseries. I don't remember her name off the top of my head, but she was like one of the standouts of that series. Again, completely off topic, I know, but the point I'm trying to make is that you look at Heard's career as an actress, and there's not really much there. Heard herself, and as we saw in court, she certainly is not very, very talented as an actress. She's kind of below average as an actress. And I think that when she got with Depp, she knew that her career was kind of starting to come to a bit of a halt, or it would have, within the next few years. She's very much one of those actresses that really gets by on her looks, I think. And I think she was sensing that if she didn't do something soon, that her career was basically going to be over. Because she's one of those actresses that kind of comes around, is a flash in the pan for a few years, and then kind of disappears. Kind of like, I would say kind of like Emma Watson with the Harry Potter movies, and then she was in a few other things, then kind of disappeared. Kind of the same thing with Jennifer Lawrence, actually. You don't really see her in much nowadays. She was in that one movie recently about climate change, I think, with Leonardo DiCaprio, but other than that, she was around for a few years in the wake of the Hunger Games, and then she kind of just disappeared. Not to say that Lawrence isn't a good actress, but I'm just saying, there's some actresses and actors, too, that come around that are kind of just, kind of the hot thing, and then they kind of disappear, But I think that was the case. And then she did that movie with Depp. I think it was The Rum Diary, I want to say. I think that's where they met and started dating. And I think it was kind of, I don't know, and obviously none of us were in the relationship, so who knows what could have caused her to get this motivation. But somewhere along the line, I think she got the idea in her head that if she created a public scandal, and tried to make up this bullshit about Depp being an abuser, that it would get her the attention, it would get her more fame, it would further her career, which I think is one of the reasons why she got the role in Aquaman, is because of this whole public scandal with Depp. I do believe that. And I think this whole thing was concocted as a way to continue her career and keep her career going, because if she didn't have this, then again, her career was just going to fade off into nothingness. And like I said in a Facebook post, I mean, at this point, I hope that she enjoys the rest of her career on the Lifetime channel or the Oxygen channel, if even that. But no, I think that was a big motivating factor for this whole thing, for her lying about Depp and slandering him as being an abuser. I think it was just a way to try to further her career and keep her career afloat, because she couldn't do it off of her own talent or off of her own, work. And I think this case it really says a lot, and I wanted to do kind of a separate video about this, and I still might do a separate video about this, but I think the outcome, the subsequent reaction to it, really shows, the problem with, so-called modern day feminism, and that it's really not feminism so much as it is just misandry. A lot of the people, I would say, all of the people who are for some reason defending Amber Heard are really just straight up misandrists. A lot of them are under the feminist label, which I think is really what modern day feminism is. I think it's really just misandry disguised as fighting for equal rights and opportunities, even though women have the same rights and opportunities as a man does in this day and age, at least in first world countries. But it's packaged as that, but it's really just misandry underneath. And I think it really says a lot about how we've basically allowed misandry to be okay. We'll call out misogyny and all day long, and shit on men, all day long, and blame all the problems of everything on men and lay it all on their shoulders. But if you dare to criticize a woman, if you dare to criticize a strong, empowered woman, it means that you hate all women, that you have a problem with women, that you're a misogynist, so on and so forth. And that if you do, it's just your toxic masculinity coming forward and all that bullshit and that nonsense. I think it shows that we've, not only have made misandry okay, but have encouraged it. And I just have this crazy idea that both are not okay, like neither misogyny or misandry are okay, and both deserve to be called out equally. And instead of going in the polar opposite direction, you learn from the past, learn from history, don't repeat it, and then just go on and treat everyone equally. Like, give everyone liberty, give everyone the freedom to make their own choices when what they want to do with their own life, and just move forward. I know that's a crazy idea, but I just happen to think that that's the right way to go, as opposed to embracing extremes with attitudes and whatnot. But anyone actually defending her at this point should just call themselves a misandrist. I mean, they should just embrace it. I've even heard that some people some people say that it's not even a real word, even though it is. Like, misandry isn't a real thing, even though it's actually a word with a definition. But, whatever. But anyways, I'm glad Depp won. It represents, it really shines a light on, male abuse victims. They are out there, they do exist. There's probably a lot more than we know of, and hopefully this, lets people know that, yes, male abuse victims do exist. And not only do they exist, but they can be the victim of a female. Because a lot of attention is always put on, the female victims of male abusers. I'm not saying that there shouldn't be attention on that, but there's never really a lot of talk about male abuse victims at the hands of women. It's never really explored at all, and in some cases it's even kind of laughed at. And some people might even go as far as to say, well, the man probably deserved it for some reason, which is fucked. But yeah, I'm glad at what this case and what the outcome of it represents, and the lesson that it can teach to the world about abuse victims, and that abuse, domestic abuse, knows no one gender. It doesn't just it applies to everyone. And this is coming from someone, I'm not even really I wouldn't say I'm a big Depp fan. This isn't really coming from a place of being just a major Depp fanboy. I think that he's a decent actor. Seems like a chill guy for the most part. I do have some issues, obviously, I don't agree with the dude. He's kind of like the paint by numbers, kind of liberal Hollywood type figure, because a lot of them tend to be sort of that kind of smug, democratic, liberal type. And also the fact that him, along with many other actors, defended Roman Polanski. I have a problem with him for that as well. But all that aside, it's clear in this situation that he was the victim, and I'm glad that he's being recognized as the victim, at least for the most part. Most people are doing it. Most sane, rational people are recognizing him as the victim and happy about this outcome. And all the crazy harpies and misandrists and soy boys are complaining about it and claiming that her is supposedly the real victim in all this. But anyways, that's my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think, and I'm going to wrap this one up. So peace, and have a good day.